the main ages that we are going to use to get or derive the mortality table. This was because below 25, and remember we're using policyholder tables, or policyholder life, sorry. So below 20, you know, Ghanaians, we are still in our youth. I'm still going to bloom and ease, so it's not now I'm going to buy insurance. Then above 70, naturally, at that point in time, the policyholder behavior, probably by 70, the man will expect that, or the woman expect that, well, the children should be the one to pay for their insurance. So, or they would have passed away. So these are observed crude mortality rates, and this is the exposure. Now, you can even see from the exposures why we had to cut off at age 70. Much of the exposure, it's around what, age 30 to age 40, which makes sense because probably that's where the person is concerned about. You know how insurance in Ghana is, especially, anyway, this also policyholder. So either they are buying policies for themselves, which is the university. You see the exposures narrows. Okay, now next slide. And in this case, product one is our universal life. And you know that when it comes to Ghana, it's universal life and whole lives, which make up majority of the insurance policies sold. Product two is investment, which we didn't get a lot of data for because naturally insurance companies are not. Okay, so let me skip that comment. Product three was endowment, and product four was whole life. So you would realize that for product four, which is the person hits the age of retirement, you would see what less and less of these in the insurers books, which meant that there was past data to work with. Okay, next curve. We went ahead and decided to plot the mortality tables by years, the years of studies, to see if maybe, remember that we are doing a study from 2017 to 2022, which meant that there was likely to be a COVID effect. There was likely to be a COVID effect, and we are still looking into that to make much of an explanation, but you would realize that even though 2022 has the lowest mortality observed, the jump is not a huge difference between the curves. Is that okay? Oh, sorry, questions after. Don't worry, next. Do you want to look at it for some time? Go back, let them take it in. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so with graduation, this is where, remember that, with graduation, we graduated from age 25 to age 70. Because this is where we had much of the data. We had credible data to make, to be able to get the mortality as it's supposed to be. And as we mentioned, we spoke to the insurers and we came up 60% of the mortality, the South African mortality table was what most people were using for valuation purposes for the policyholders' life. So what we did was that we used that as as a benchmark. We graduated up to age 70, but we all know that insurers are going to have people more than age 70 on their books. And if you want your mortality table to be used by the industry, you can't just give them up to age 70, because then what would they use to value liabilities for lives after the age of 70? And we want to make sure that this is a project that is used, this is a project that would continue to be used. So we are looking at methods to extend the mortality. What you see displayed is a little bit of a GLM, a generalized linear model, which was used to extend the curve. You know, the Poisson and the, boring actuarial things, statistics. The Poisson and the binomial probability distributions belong to the same. So we ran it both on Poisson and binomial because the person is either dead or alive. And it came out with a curve, but it's not the best because you would see from around age 70 where the predictive model takes over. You see what Mr. Nkiti Abrofune, a kink. a kink in the curve. As said by Mr. Nketia, a kink in the curve. So you're seeing a kink in the curve, which really doesn't explain, or it doesn't, the relationship should be monotonic. What that simply means is that we expect it to go in one direction, which means what? It should be increasing after each other. So this kink is our headache. We are still looking to to solve this issue, after which we'll be done with the curve. We've brought on very, very good talents. Mr. Nketia is here helping us. We also have Brian, who also has come in, and he's more of a reviewer, but he has turned a helper too. So thank you, Brian. So that is where we are on the mortality. You know, the truth of the matter is, as the exposure said, even though that exposure was for policy holders, you will not get much of dependence around these ages. Probably most of our deaths recorded are around the Ghanaian, life expectancy is age 63. So by then, you would have, even with the dependence data, we do not have exposure for these earlier ages. So it won't be really much of a headache, but we just want to make sure that what we put out there is on factual basis, is on actuarial basis. We are not just going to put anything out there because we want to put it there. So a lot of work has gone into it. Trust, we've been using general additive models. I even tried putting it in a neural network, but then I realized that I would overfit the data because virtually we do not capture a lot of data to try and explain the mortalities. So there are a lot of things that we are doing. Going ahead, yes, we would continue these, but then you see, we would have to have discussions with insurance companies. It's not really their fault. It's what the market gives them. The market is quite underdeveloped in terms of its actuarial expertise, and so we are not able to do a lot more of advanced things. As he said, we clearly do not underwrite. Most companies, it's just a few that were able to underwrite companies to, underwrite policies and say that this is in a smoker, this is preferred life, super preferred life, this is a risky life. We wish all those things would be captured, but unfortunately, it is not there. And it is just our hope that as we develop as a country, we can capture these things. Because, as I said, I'm a different actuary, but at the end of the day, there is enjoyment in working with data and as actuary. There is when you are seeing things, when you are cracking your head and seeing various trends, various analysis, it's quite brilliant. And at least when you work and write complex codes and you see nice images and graphs form. So these are the things we want to do. We hope to continue doing as younger actuaries come out. I know Mr. Nketia will speak about later how we would bring them into all this, ensure that our actuarial talent stays in Ghana and other, because you know, it's quite exciting to do these things. Sorry, this is the nerd part of me, yeah, but anyway, so